Paul, obviously a great result on Tuesday. How important is it to get that away monkey off your back a little bit?
Yeah, vitally. I think it was important. It's been spoken about an awful lot, quite rightly so. And I think it was the end of November, wasn't it? Last one, but we haven't won away from home for 2 days now, so it's all good. It was nice to win.
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously it's all a learning process, isn't it? And you've now got that experience very fresh in the players' minds. This is what you need to do as you approach Tonbridge.
Yeah, we've obviously been close on a few occasions and just not got over the line, So I actually thought first half we weren't very good at all. And then second half, watching it back, I thought was excellent, very professional. And I think Chippen, they had a couple of shots, but Hammy didn't have a save to make. So second half is what I would call a very good away performance. And we know we're going to have to do it again on this Saturday coming.
You've spoken before about game management, and you must have been pleased with it because obviously it was still 2-1, wasn't it, deep into injury time?
Yeah, and obviously the 8 minutes of injury time, and but weirdly, listen, I'm sure someone will ask a question about the Bournemouth game. The 8 minutes on Tuesday, I was very comfortable with it. We were in control, and it was it was fine, and we saw out. There was elements in that 8 minutes we did much better than we have done in previous weeks. So it was a comfortable away performance second half, I think.
4 from 4 now for Matt J. That must be pleasing for both him and you.
Yeah, well, he's obviously come into great form, which I thought he would, and I did say that the more minutes he gets on the pitch, the better he'll become. I think it's just his experience and his calmness on the pitch has been the most pleasing thing for me, and obviously goals are a huge thing. So long may it continue.
And it's a dilemma, obviously, for the opposition as well, because now they've got to keep Matt J quiet, and if Matt J's they're concentrating on Matt, then it gives Jordan and Cody and those sort of guys a chance to do their thing as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, the squad's we're in okay shape at the moment. We've got some players in good form. Performance-wise in the team, we've been a little bit up and down, but as you quite rightly say, we've got some players in good form.
Business part of the season now, though.
Absolutely, it's business part of the season. Yeah, it's like I said on Tuesday. We've got 10 games to go, and we're right in the fight with 6 other teams. So 7 other teams include Wotton. So let's give it a go.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting finish. What are you expecting from Tonbridge?
They are a very well organised team. They've got a really good home record, so we've got to be aware of that. It's obviously AstroTurf, so people will mention that again. We're in for a tough game. They've got good players. Shields and Jack Wood, who was obviously here on loan, we know are good players. And Jay Sanders, their manager, does a great job there, and I get on with him really well. So, as always, tough game. Just got to go there and just give it a good go.
Injury-wise, how are you looking?
So we've got quite a few niggles actually. Cody is struggling. Cody came on Tuesday night and he's picked up something. Ozzy obviously came off with a knock and he's not moving great. So that's both centre forwards. Hopefully Jay Falston's fit enough to be in the squad. Other than that, a few bumps and bruises.
Are you still looking at possible ins between now and whenever the window closes?
I'm always looking, but obviously got to be very mindful of, that you've got to balance the books and it's things like that, and it's getting the right player. We've waited all season for Zanzala. And we waited a long time to bring in Jordan Young. Waited all season to bring in Matt J and Dylan Morgan and these types of players. So it's not easy to recruitment's not easy. It's tough. As I always say, and it's a bit boring. I could go and sign 2 or 3 now. Probably not pay much for them either. Probably get them for free from some clubs. But are they going to enhance the squad or the team? Probably not. So I don't see the point in that. But we're always looking. Yeah.
Paul, it's World Book Day today, and there's I know you're not on social media, but there's a lad gone dressed as yourself to school. What's your memories of that day growing up? I mean, my lad went to school dressed as Harry Potter, 4 years on the trot.
We didn't have World Book Day at my school, Clive. Didn't have a library. No, I've seen it actually. My my boy Alfie sent it to me. I just hope he's not walking around miserable all day and swearing at everyone. So, no, it's Harry Potter for his Diary of a Wimpy Kid. My boy went as just every year, but we didn't have that. We didn't have that, mate. No.
Is your experience with Truro, especially last season in this division, going to all these different places, different clubs, different environments, bumping into quite a few of the same players? Are things coming to you and the build up to these games that you can draw on from the experience of Truro last season? I mean, I know that it was a very difficult season for all the reasons we know, but the hands-on experience of this division, going to teams and places opposition managers that quite a lot of players, is that something you're drawing on a little bit when you're planning for trips, like for instance to Tonbridge?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Or can you almost get too far in front of yourself and try and sort of second-guessing things? Or?
I think more so than ever, it is game by game now. I genuinely think you can look too much into how many minutes boys have played, and we've got another game Tuesday and another game Saturday. Every player in our league and the leagues above and in the Football League, every player has got aches and bumps and bruises now at this stage of the season. It just becomes a war of attrition at the end. It's about who can keep going. It becomes a little bit of heart and guts, I think. It's there'll be a lot of players and a lot of teams who can't go up and can't go down who will be looking to book their holidays. There's a lot of teams with the pressure of a relegation fight who will be, playing in fear and worried about the threat of relegation. And there's also a lot of teams involved in a promotion fight, which fortunately we are involved in that. And it's a case of just, I think more so that, do you know what? I'd even go shorter than game by game. I'd go half by half. I think it's getting to that stage of the season now. We've got 10 games left, 20 halves of football, and it will go really, really quick. I think Tuesday night is our last evening game of the season, which is good, because then you are getting into the Saturday, and then it does become you have to recover in between games and stuff. I genuinely think, Dave, it is one game at a time.
So when you go to pick a team, at one time you were thinking, I need to keep him fresh for next Tuesday, or I need to spread the space. Now you're picking, this could be the last game of the season for us, that sort of thing. That's the approach.
Listen,
it isn't, won't be.
No. I think it's the biggest cliche in football, but it's true. We've got 10 cup finals.
You've been through a few promotions. You said last week or the week before. How does this one feel compared to the others?
Feels long. It feels long.
Is that because you're the manager and not
possibly,
the player? Or
possibly.
I mean, obviously, you've had one promotion as a manager already, but
yeah, possibly. I think, although you're quite right in what you're saying, it's the final lap, it's the last push, it's 10 games. 10 games is still a lot of football to be played. I just think this league, it's been quite taxing, this league this year. The amount of, no one's gone clear, no one's gone on. I think every team's had their own little runs and stuff, but no one's pulled away. I've got a feeling it'll go right to the last 5 minutes of the last game. I really have. Hopefully, we're still involved in that.
yeah,
then.
exactly.
It's results. People will start falling away because it's got to. We just got to make sure we're not one of them.
It's slightly starting to stretch out now, isn't it? It's 1 point instead of a whole clutch of teams on the same amount of points.
And I think there's Worthing have got the game in hand, haven't they? And that's, that'll be played soon. I think in a fortnight's time, everyone will be on the same games, and I think everyone's still got to play everyone at some point as well. So, 46 games is a long old season. It's a long old season. I say it we just got to enjoy it. We've got to enjoy it.
Do you go to sleep thinking about it and wake up thinking about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Of course, I mean, I sleep well.
Yeah.
It's after certain games you don't sleep well. Of course you don't. Sometimes you. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I don't wake up in the night and think of a formation or think of players or a problem or who we're playing or the game that's just gone. Of course I do. It's 24/7. And I think about football 24/7. I think about Torquay United 24/7. I'm not sure that's always healthy, but that's the way I am. I'm sure that's the way lots and lots of managers are. It's not just me. Got to enjoy it. Got to try and smile and enjoy it. It's 10 games to go. Let's go. Let's have a go at it. Simple as that. Other managers will be saying exactly the same.
We've also got the psychological situation as well, and we chatted after Saturday night.
Yep.
That everybody's on the
My psychological situation.
yeah. Well, yes, and the squad and the team.
Yeah.
You know that you lose, for want of a better word, a 2-goal lead for the second week running.
Yep.
Although there are other factors involved in that. I imagine that the top priority after Saturday, as you've said several times this season, is if you allow yourself to get 2 on the floor with something like that, especially with the game coming up on Tuesday night, you have to find a way, do you not, to sort of park it and move on and as infuriating. And I think we all thought we hadn't seen you as
Yep.
don't know what the word is, dumbfounded, low or whatever, as you were on Saturday night.
Yep.
But you can't presumably, the players can't see that for too long. I mean, obviously they did see it after the game. But
I think, I think you're right. And our Saturday night was probably as low as I've ever been in football. And I've had a very long career in football since I left school. You have to get over it quickly. The best way I get over it is the next coaching session or seeing the lads again. So Sunday wasn't a great day either, I've got to be honest. But as I'm sure it wasn't for lots and lots of people.
Having said that, I don't know about you, but I've thought back, not just me, other people, I'm sure you've done the same. I thought we played better on Saturday than we did on Tuesday night.
So, Dave, I've watched the game back. I watch every game back. For 90% of the game against Boreham Wood, we were good.
Pretty decent.
We were good.
Yeah.
I hear this, I hate it when people say hoofball and all that. I think it's so uneducated. I think it's a disrespectful term. I thought we were 10 seconds away from a defensive masterclass, really, against, and let's get into it, against a team who's been together for years, who have got almost triple the budget. I thought we, other than the last 2 minutes, it felt like a defeat, didn't it? Come on, that's all. Of course it did. And I was bad. But going back to your original question, the players, fortunately in football, there's always another game. Now, sometimes, if it's the last game of the season, you've got to wait months for the next game. But there will be another game of football.
And there was on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and I thought first half, me and you spoke after, I thought first half, there was a hangover. You could see that. And I'm not a psychologist. It doesn't matter what I say to the boys. You're going to take, because of Chelmsford and Bournemouth, it happened twice in a week. Now, if Chelmsford had happened earlier in the season and Bournemouth had happened Saturday and there was 3 months between it, it's still not great, but that twice in a week. What I will say, the football club and the players, they're resilient. And I thought they bounced back second half against Chippenham. I thought they were great. And they deserve an awful lot of credit. They are a resilient bunch. I'm very proud of them for that. Very. So, you move on. You have to, because it's life, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's a factor when you were recruiting, and as you've recruited, as you've gone through, that, especially in lower division football, where you're not all going to be playing Barcelona stuff, that mental resilience and being able to move on and still come up with a smile on your face the next day and go out again is often what gets you to the line, isn't it? It's
it's just the positive things happen to positive people. Now, I'm not sat here saying I'm the most positive man in the world, because I'm not. But when it comes to a game of football, I back us, and we're ready to go, and we'll be ready to go on Saturday. I don't know if we're going to win, lose or draw, but we're resilient and we'll give it a good go.
Do you want to say anything about Will Jenkins-Davis and Lyric is saying, to the younger players,
Yeah.
you picked them, didn't you, on Saturday?
Yeah.
And you picked them again on Tuesday. And I think people who were there on Tuesday thought both of them covered themselves in quite a lot of glory, really.
Yeah.
Just wondered about your thoughts on that.
I think it's that they've both been out of the team a little bit. That what they've both got is energy, and they're both what we just spoke about there. They're resilient and they go right to the end. And I thought the pair of them second half really stepped into the game. I mean, the way we I spoke to Dave afterwards. The way we started the second half, Clive, the first 5 minutes, I thought really set the tempo for the rest of the game. And Jenkins Davis was influential in that first 5 minutes. Picked up 3 or 4 second balls, drove into the box. They're both infectious characters as well. What I love about the pair of them, they train properly. Every second of every training session, they are on it. Even if we're doing the most simple passing drill, those two are on it. And they've earned their way back into the team.
Lyric, bit of a dodgy challenge. Obviously, they're
It's not his strong point, is it?
Well, poor lad. I thought the referee was quite strong, though, didn't you? Because their bench were all up screaming for a red card, and he took his time and thought about it.
Listen, there's no point not being honest about it. I feared the worst. I feared the worst because it happened right in front of the bench. I actually don't think Lyric caught him properly, but he was off the ground. And listen, it was borderline. If he'd got a red card, I wouldn't be sat here bemoaning the referee. But you're quite right. He did take his time over it. It wasn't the Western one was very knee jerk, wasn't it? Straight away, red card gone. May have got away with one there, but I think we earned that. I think we earned that little bit of luck from the referee.
You brought Ozzy Zanzala in. So far, except for a little spell at Weston-super-Mare, you've played either Cody or him up front. Do you see a potential playing them together as a pair up front?
Absolutely.
You've spoken recently about the next few weeks. You may have to sort of, I think the phrase was, take the leashes off.
Take the shackles off. Yeah.
Shackles off. Is that an option in your mind to perhaps
I
play
think
those two up front? Because they look as if they could play together, don't they?
They'd be a handful, I think.
Yeah.
I'd like to think they'd be a handful. Thought Cody come on was excellent Tuesday when he came on.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Except for his miss.
Except for his was offside, wasn't it? I don't know. But I thought that. But I 100% could see them playing as a two. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Ozzy looks as if he can mentally almost play off an old-fashioned target man.
He can run in behind as well, can't
Exactly,
he, Ozzy?
yeah.
He's got that strength to his game as well.
Yeah.
And a little bit like MJ, the more minutes he plays, the more he'll come into it. 'Cause he hasn't played an awful lot of football this year.
No. And it's that fitness thing and that sharpness thing. You'd think by this stage of the season, if you're a professional footballer, even though you weren't playing an awful lot, it's that purely down to, even though you're training every day, matches are what gets you up to.
In my opinion, Dave, 100%.
Yeah.
You can train flat out. You can go.
The same thing happened to Matt Jay as well.
You can train at a high intensity. You could be the best trainer. You can go on the treadmill. You can run. You can, work yourself into the ground. But it's only ever games that will get you fully up to speed, in my opinion.
So you think there's more to come then? Because I
hope so.
I think he's hit the ground running.
Yeah, no, I do. But I do think I think there is, Clive. I said it with MJ. The more he plays, you can see MJ now. His fitness is right up there. He's getting into, he's keeping the ball better because he's not so fatigued, and he's obviously scoring goals, which is an added bonus. And then I think Ozzy will. Yeah, I think he'll get better.
You're not thinking with Matt, we're going to have to take him off in a minute. He's still. I mean, there may come a time.
Yeah.
But on the whole, he's still trucking around the longer the game goes on, isn't he?
Yeah, he's obviously a very fit player as well. But I mean, I said openly I made a mistake against Chelmsford taking him off because his experience on the pitch is vital as well.
I thought it was interesting on Tuesday night when you made the change and put Ed on at the back. went through a three with the three of them at the back.
Yeah.
Matt is the one who's coming back and talking to all three of them.
Yeah.
And sort of
Yeah.
almost like laying the law down about what was required.
Yeah, well-
and he's supposed to be playing 50 yards further up the pitch.
But it's another reason we brought him in.
Yeah.
Because he's captained a promotion-winning team. He's been there and done it. Zanzala's been in promotion-winning teams in the Football League. And Zanzala's a voice in the change room as well, which is great. You know, it's because if it's only my voice all the time, people get bored of it. No, they've been two really good additions.
It's got to be quite exciting for them as well, isn't it? This kind of
They've embraced it, yeah.
promotion race.
Yeah. Do you know what, Rich?
Even though they're experienced, it's
Yeah, because a football career is short, isn't it? A playing career is short in like a normal job sense. You know, like people have their job for years and years and years. You don't do that as a football player. We spoke before. So to be part of a promotion-winning side, it's really rare. It's really rare. You know, there's in the Football League, it's 92 clubs. There's only a certain few get promoted. You've got to embrace it. You have to. I keep saying it. You can't be in fear of it, and you can't be scared of. Yeah, if we go to Tonbridge, and we don't get a result, we've got Salisbury Tuesday night. You've got to just keep going. It's if you don't enjoy it, and you don't enjoy being part of trying to achieve something very, very special, you're in the wrong game. You know, it's we'll give it all we've got. We get there, we don't. There'll be reasons why we haven't.
A little broader field, a rule that's coming next season is a goalkeeper can only keep the ball for 8 seconds.
I saw that, yeah.
And obviously, I think over the last few years, I think the 6-second rule still applies, actually, doesn't it? But
I can't guarantee it does.
no, well,
But I'm
we
not
don't
sure.
know.
I think it does.
Yeah, well, I think it does.
Yeah.
Even though it seems to have gone out the window, doesn't
Yeah.
it? When you saw that, what was your instinctive? Oh, that would be an improvement, or did you not? I think also, isn't it? Referees are going to indicate when they've got 5 seconds,
Countdown from 5,
and all that sort of stuff.
Like a basketball clock.
Famous
counting.
last words.
I just think it's like every new rule that comes in, Dave. I think there'll be red hot on it for the first 2-3 months, and then
Right.
I guarantee you'll see keepers holding the ball for longer than 8 seconds.
Yeah. And presumably, it'll be the first 3 seconds is the question mark time. Once the referee puts his fingers up, you can imagine whole grounds are going to be going 5, 4, 3.
You've just took the words out of my mouth. That's all you're going to hear.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to hear. Big clock in the corner, countdown. Suppose it'll make the game more exciting, keep the ball in play a bit more.
But the old punishment was the indirect free kick, which is much more dangerous than a corner, generally speaking. Would you say?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it'll be a
punishment's
corner,
corner now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a corner now.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
officially it's supposed to be an indirect free kick, although
Yeah.
it probably hasn't happened for 10 years, has it?
I couldn't tell you the last time I saw
No.
a goalkeeper get punished for that.
When did the no back pass law come in?
I
Around
reckon.
about
90s.
80s, late 80s,
late
90s?
80s, 90s.
Yeah.
I remember. I reckon it's early 90s. That was a good rule change, though.
Yes.
That was a good rule
And it
change.
stopped the immediate
Yeah.
holding on to the ball for
Well,
ages.
you could just
But
you could turn around on the halfway line, boot it back to your goalie.
Exactly.
Well, I can remember we played Crewe away one night when Cyril was manager. Do you remember that?
Kenny Allen.
Kenny Anna, and we got a 1-1 or a 0-0 or
I think
something
we
like
won
that.
1-0.
And Cyril just basically, God rest his soul, stood on the halfway line and basically pointed back at Kenny for the whole of the second half.
Do you know, Dave,
The
used to get
crowd-
sent
the crowd
forwards.
was going mad.
Used to get sent. Sure, I remember Sean McCarthy playing with him, and he took a chest halfway in the opposition half. And you know when you're holding on to it and he ain't got a pass, he's just zinged it straight back to the keeper. Keeper picks it up, game's gone. Yeah, that was a good rule change.
Those were his. That was a long time ago, wasn't it? But, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Paul, we talked about, psychologically speaking, the season seems to get quicker and quicker towards the end. How important is it that we slow things down and, once again, kind of emphasise how important every person that comes to support the team is important at this stage of the season, aren't they? Every single one that comes through the turnstile is there to help us.
Yeah, of course. You know, the crowds haven't dropped all season. They've been amazing. You know, a fantastic support again at Chippenham on Tuesday night. Non-stop with the drums and singing. It was amazing. Listen, it's critical. It's critical. There's going to be some big games as well. I guarantee there'll be some games with a lot riding on it. So we know. Listen, we as always, we really, really appreciate the support of the Torquay fans. We really do. It's vital. It's really, really important.